everyone, and welcome back to Art a la Carte. And today is the day that I'm finally ready to share with you some art supplies that I purchased. Not exactly certain how they would work, so I wanted to test them out before I kind of showed you guys what I was working on. And so here they are. Bum, ba-da, bum, the mysterious white bottles. So if you watched the March favorites video, you saw a little sneak peek of these guys, and a lot of you guys had some ideas of what they are, and I think one of you actually guessed. You didn't say what it is because you didn't want to spoil it, but yes, these have been around for a little while, and they are ColorBursts. So this is put on by Ken Oliver Crafts, and I discovered these in my local craft shop. They told me about them and said I needed to try them, so I went, oh, I didn't know what they were, so I went back and looked at some videos and tried to, figure out what they were, and was so excited about them that I immediately went back to my craft store and bought all these. They have a lot of different colors out there now, and the ones that I have are the indigo blue, an Elysian crimson, sepia, orange burst, ultramarine blue, patho green, and lemon yellow. As you can see, I spent $6 for each one of these, which is a little bit hefty, so I went a little crazy. But again, in my defense, there were other colors still there that I did not get. So what do these things do? Well, if you watch different YouTube videos, a lot of scrapbookers, stampers, card makers, things like that will be using these, and they do some really cool techniques. If you could do that with stamping, could you do it with art? Like, could you mix it with other things like watercolor? Could you mix it with Copic markers? What could you really do with these? So the last couple weeks have been a experimentation of what these ColorBursts can do. And let me share with you what I've learned.
Okay, so first let me show you how these work. What is ColorBurst? Well, it's a bottle of powdered kind of like watercolor ink, but it's powdered, and when you squeeze it, it has this little nozzle that kind of sends it out in this colorful little puff of powder, which isn't really that impressive until you add water, and then the name ColorBurst really suits it. So here I'm just adding some colors. I added a little bit of the lemon yellow, and I think I'm adding in the I think this one's is the orange color here. And then I'm going to take a little spritzer bottle and spray it. And you can see already it's just very lightly spraying it with water. You can see the color begin to come through. So the more that I add powder, the more color's there, but really it's the water. So after I practiced a little bit with it and kind of saw how this color kind of worked, then I got a little bit more brave with the water and added a lot more water to it. And kapow, the colors just went everywhere, and it was gorgeously beautiful. It is so fun to play with these because you can take the colors and just really turn them and tilt them, and they just flow and run and blend and bleed and all sorts of fun things. And I still myself am just kind of still trying to figure out all the different fun things that you can do with this. It is a really, really fun medium. One thing you're going to notice is I'm using an art block. And so it's actually not a piece of paper. It's actually like almost like foam board, but it's not like foam board you'd buy it like in an office supply store. It's you actually buy it like in an art store, and it's actually meant for lots of water and things, so it doesn't buckle and warp like you would if you used regular just paper, or even watercolor paper is going to buckle because you use a lot of water with this. Now, one thing I find is that I love color, and so if something has some color, then a lot of color is even better. So here I had this really pretty piece, and then I kept adding color to it and more color to it, and it kind of got a little over colorified. It still turned out awesome, but at the end there are some colors on here that you will not see again because I will cover them up. You're going to find that the powders in the ColorBursts are super potent. This is the same piece. Can you see even a hint of the brown? No, you can't. And you can see I've been having a lot of fun with this. The piece Desiree that I did, you can see that I had a lot of fun with that background. Did that with a lot of watercolor, mixed watercolor and ColorBurst together. So now I'm going to go ahead and do a piece start to finish so you can kind of see how this works together. So I'm doing kind of a fun face piece. I was really wanting to paint eyeballs today. I like painting eyes. And actually I was recording this video for an entirely different idea of a video, and I was just going to do just with watercolor, and so I'm adding my watercolors in here, but the colors just were not, I wasn't getting what I wanted and I was like, wow, why am I not happy with the colors in this? And it was because I really wanted to use my color bursts. So I knew if I used my color bursts in here, there was no way that I was going to be able to hide the color bursts. So I was either had to decide to do yet another video or to go ahead and fill you guys in with the color burst. So I figured, even though I still don't know everything there is to know about color bursts, I figured it's time to share this wonderful medium with you guys. So that if you guys want to play with this as well, we can learn and experiment and figure this out together. But oh my goodness, this is such a fun thing. So some things I did test out with the color bursts is how do they work with other mediums. So once I place the color bursts down and then let it fully dry, I was really worried if I went and put watercolor on top of it, would it just reactivate the color bursts and would they just smear everywhere? Well, once they dry, because they're not really watercolors, they're kind of like a water-based ink. Once they dry, they set fairly well. In fact, it takes a little bit of work to try to scrub and lighten an area. So they work great with watercolors. What you're going to have to do is, because there's so much water that you use with the color burst paints themselves, you have to either use a block paper like I had earlier, or like in this piece, I taped down the edges and left it taped down until it fully dried, so that my piece didn't buckle. I've seen a lot of tutorials where people have used just regular paper and it buckles really, really badly and it causes the color burst to pool. Even in this, you're going to see it's warping a little bit later on and it kind of pools in certain areas. But it's a little bit more manageable if you can tape down your edges. Does it work well with Copics? I was really nervous that I would ruin my Copics, and it works awesome with Copics. A little bit later in this piece, I will add a few touches with Copics just so you can kind of see it. I haven't found a medium that I work with that it doesn't work with. So I can put pen on top of it. I can put jelly rolls on top of it. I can put Indian ink on it. I can Copics, color pencils, all sorts of things. It just works great. So the only downside that I find is that it is a little messy. So it does stain your fingers, but I find just, go do the dishes or something, and then usually the stain comes out of my fingers after I do the dishes. But you also want to keep your area a little bit clean. I have a little craft mat underneath for any extra flex. You will notice in upcoming videos, if you look at my desk, that my desk has some permanent stains in it because the first time I did it, I did not put anything down to protect my desk. I thought, we watercolor, it'll come right up, but it's not. It is an actual ink kind of thing. Some questions that I have found people asking about them is they wonder, will they fade in time? I haven't been able to find a concrete answer on that yet, and I haven't had a piece long enough to notice if it fades or not. So that's something that I'm still kind of looking into and testing on my own to see if I can get the colors to fade, or if they sit in direct sunlight, are they going to keep their original colors. But even when they dry, they still have just this gorgeous, vibrant color. So I am excited about these so much. They're so fun. I haven't had a new art medium that I've been this excited about in a long time. So, well, okay, that's not true because I just got into Copics and I was very excited about Copics, and that hasn't even been 6 months. Well, actually it has been. I've been doing Copics for 6 months now, guys. Oh, so exciting. I should have a birthday party or an anniversary or something, or take myself out for dinner. Anyway, I digress. So I encourage you guys to try something new today, whether it's ColorBurst or some other kind of art medium that you've always kind of wanted to try out, but you're not positive. Go and get some and just have fun with it. Some pieces may fail. I did several different trial pieces, even some that I didn't record, and some of them really flopped, and I went, okay, that's not good. And some of them turned out amazing, like the Desiree picture. I was really excited about that. And I have another piece that I'm working on that you would have seen a sneak peek of that in my March favorites with little fox girl. The background with that was done with the color bursts and all that. So have fun just trying out new things. Don't always think you have to stick to the same art medium that you always do. And don't think that, different art mediums can't be friends. these are great friends and had a lot of fun creating these pieces, and I'm sure I will have a lot more fun in the future creating even more pieces with this. So if you would like to see more of the pieces that I create, make sure to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any future videos. And if you decide to splatter paint on your picture like this, make sure that you take and remove anything like, I don't know, iPad from getting splattered. So mine got totally splattered, but it came off. It's okay. And anyway, well, thanks for hanging out with me. And until next time, God bless you guys, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.